And I tried to have you get back on track by setting it for a compliance hearing, and you still didn't show. So basically what you want to do, it appears to the court, you're not trying to be clean and sober because you're not reaching out to call anyone. You're acting as though you're not on probation. Court is calling 2021 CR 9092W State versus Christian Reyna. Can I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
And are you Christian Reyna?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Christian Escobar Reyna who was placed on deferred adjudication in cause number 2021 CR 9092W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 to 4 grams?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, state.
A violation of condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Christian Escobar Reyna did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September of 2024 and January and February of 2025 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
Violation of condition number 4 on or about the 4th day of March 2025 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Christian Escobar Reyna did then and there fail to report as directed by the court for a compliance hearing in the 187th District Court in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
And then violation of condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Christian Escobar Reyna did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March of 2025 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
We waive and abandon the remainders, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violations 4, 4, and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
I understand, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 4, 4, and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 4, 4, and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. The state is asking for revocation and that the defendant be sentenced to 2 years in the prison based on his lack of actively participating in his preferred education.
All right, and what are you requesting?
And Your Honor, I was also with that for a plea of truth, it would be TIC a new number 1.
And that's correct, Your Honor. We have TIC clause number 2025 PF 15283.
And what is that offense?
It's a possession less than a gram.
All right.
And for that reason, my client is asking for lifetime recovery, Your Honor, as an alternative to EC. He would like to address the court if the court would allow.
Sure. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Christian Reyna.
All right, so this is not your first motion to revoke. Your previous motion to revoke was for not reporting. And now we're back here for not reporting. And then the court tried to see what was going on with you. I set it for a compliance hearing and you still did not show. The only thing you've accomplished on this probation is picking up a new number 1. What would you like to discuss?
First of all, I want to say that I have 2 kids.
No, don't bring your children into this because you had 2 children when you were placed on probation. You had children when you were not doing what you're supposed to be doing on probation. So do not use your children to play sympathy and say, oh, my children really need me. You were not a good parent to your children while you were using drugs. So you haven't been in their lives. Don't pretend like you've been seeing them. And if they're in school, that you've been keeping up with their schoolwork and going over homework with them and going to any plays or events or extracurricular activities they've had, because you have not been doing that. Now you want to come to me and you're using your children as a reason why I should continue you. So let's not start there. Let's start by taking responsibility for our own actions.
Yes, ma'am.
So what would you like to say?
I have everything going for me out there. I have a supporting family that loves me and wants me there. And I just have this problem that it's my drug use. And that's all really that's my only problem. I'm a good person. You know, I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do.
All you had to do was pick up the phone and call probation. I tell everybody who has drug issues to reach out to your probation. If you think you're going to use, reach out to your sober support person. If you can't get in touch with anybody, you can still come back to court. And I tried to have you get back on track by setting it for a compliance hearing, and you still didn't show. So basically, what you want to do, it appears to the court, you're not trying to be clean and sober because you're not reaching out to call anyone. You're acting as though you're not on probation. And there, I can't help you. I can't help you anymore because you don't want help.
I understand.
All right. Court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to revoke, taking into consideration 2025 PF 15283. The state is requesting that your sentence be 2 years in the prison. I would sentence you to 4, but I'm going to go along with the state and sentence you to 2 years in the prison. I'll request the therapeutic community. And if you're truly serious about your condition, the therapeutic community will most likely accept you, but you'll have to request it.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
We can go off the record. Here's the thing. I'm gonna reach out my hand to you again. When you're released from prison, if you can't find a place to stay to help you with your sobriety, if I'm still here, you can come back here. I will pick up the phone, get a placement for you. Do you understand?
I understand.
Only 2 things can happen with the path you're on. Either you're going to end up in prison or jail for a majority of your life, or either somebody's going to be identifying your body. You understand?
I do.
All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
And he does get all his back time, Your Honor.
Yeah, he'll get credit for any time that he's been in custody.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I know that my judge, my court appointment has asked me to, limit some stuff. So, like I said, my name is Felipe Reyes. I'm a videographer. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm an immigrant. Sorry,
No problem.
and I own a company named Trap Visions.
Mhm.
And I don't know nothing about the judicial system, man. Honestly,
All
I
right.
thought-
So let me
you know,
let me explain
Yeah.
something about the judicial system. Okay. And I understand that sometimes people find themselves in situations, they're young, maybe they're doing dumb things. But let me tell you how the legal system works in general, and then I'll tell you how it works in the 187
Yeah.
District Court, okay? So this is what ends up happening. A person gets arrested by the police. Maybe they get arrested, maybe they don't get arrested. Maybe you're just out and about and the police have investigated an offense, but maybe you're not at the scene, right?
yeah,
So you may end up having a warrant and you don't even know you have a warrant. You're just out and about enjoying your life, and then you get arrested. Now, sometimes you get arrested at the scene. Now, when you're arrested, either if it's at the scene or not at the scene, what ends up happening is there's a process where you get booked. And a magistrate will read you your rights, which will tell you about the right to remain silent. We can have an attorney appointed for you if you can't afford one. If you can afford one, you can hire one. And they'll go through this process where they take information from you to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And they'll tell you can talk to people if you want to talk to the people. And by people, I mean police officers, prosecutors from the state. But if you talk to them, anything that you say may be used against you in a further proceeding. If you have an interview with them, you can stop that interview at any time. So once the police officers do their investigation, if they believe a crime has been committed, you get arrested, a bond gets set, and then that case is sent to the DA's office. They do their discovery on it. Then ultimately you end up in some court. The court you end up in is sort of random. There's some exceptions, like if there's a co-defendant in the court or something, but otherwise it's just a random court you end up in. Then you get appointed an attorney. That attorney looks at the information that the state has. In your case, you're charged with a drug case. So what they look at is they'll look at the police reports. When they look at the police reports, they will look at certain things to make a determination. Hey, is this a stop in a vehicle? If it's a stop in the vehicle, then they want to know, was this a good stop? You know, why did the police pull you over? If it wasn't a situation as that, if police had a search warrant for your arrest, a search warrant for property or something for your home, then what will end up happening is then that attorney will look at that search warrant and see if that search warrant has probable cause in it. Or if there's a arrest warrant, they'll look and see if the arrest warrant is appropriate. So once the attorney does all of that and says, you know what, this stop appears to be great, or this search warrant or this arrest warrant is a good search or arrest warrant, then they start looking at the facts of the case. And they look at the facts of the case by reviewing police reports or whatever the state may have. If this is a drug case, which is it meth? Is it cocaine? Is it heroin? What type of drug that they're saying you possess? And is it an illegal substance, something that you're not allowed to have? Cocaine, marijuana, meth, heroin, right? They'll look at that and they'll see if there's a report in there from a chemist saying, we tested these drugs and it's heroin, meth, cocaine, or whatever it may be. And then they'll look at the chemist so that chemists can say, what's the weight of this drug? So you're charged with manufacturing delivery, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. So he wants to know, is the chemist saying the weight of it is between 4 and 200 grams? If it is, and the chemist is saying, hey, yeah, this is heroin, meth, whatever it may be, then the next thing he will do is, in this court, I require that the defense get an offer. They'll get an offer from the state. And you can either accept the offer, or not accept the offer. If you choose not to accept the offer, then what will end up happening is you will have a jury trial. Witnesses will be called by the state. Based upon this, I'm assuming they're going to call the police to come in and say why they ended up arresting you, what they saw, what they heard, things of that nature. Of course, there'll be rules of evidence, hearsay, and that type of thing. They'll call in the chemist. The chemist will say, these are the drugs that were brought to me by the police. I weighed them. This is how much they weigh. I tested them. This is what it came back as. That's it. Normally with drug cases, at least when I was practicing law, the only way to sort of help your client, or I don't want to say help, but the only question really is it a good stop? Is the search warrant good? If the search warrant is good, or if the stop is good, you're pretty much stuck like Chuck a little bit, because it is, are these drugs? Chemist is going to come in and say, these are drugs. The chemist is going to come in and say, this is how much it weighed. The chemist is going to say, yep, this is all I did. And usually the chemists don't have a dog in the fight. They don't know you. Their job is just to get drugs from the police or whatever agency, test it to see what it is, and put in their report, I tested these drugs. This is how much it is. And what I can tell you with chemists, they're not going to measure the full 200. If you're charged with possession with intent 4 to 200 grams, they're not going to test 200 grams. They're just going to test enough to get where it needs to be. If they think it's a lot, they'll test probably about 20 grams, because then you're between the 4 to 200 grams. If it's 1 to 4 grams, they're probably going to test till they get to about 2 grams and a little bit more. And then that's it. And usually there's really nothing to cross the chemist about, unless it's a bad chemist, has some bad things in their past as far as their inability to test and identify drugs. So usually the chemist part is out the window because they don't have a dog in this fight. Then the state will call the police officers in. Your attorney will have a chance to question them. So here are your choices today. You have a plea deadline date. Your plea deadline date was extended. You can either accept this plea, or either you can go to a bench trial or a jury trial. Those are your 3 choices. So 1, do you want to accept the plea? Yes or no? I don't know what the plea is, but do you want to accept it? And if the answer is no, what's going to end up happening, the court will not accept any plea bargaining agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you're going to have the plea open to the court. So first question, have you received an offer from the state?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to accept it? Yes or no? State, do you want to give him till Monday?
Judge, I'll leave it open till Monday. I left it out open till today and, well, after rejecting it, but I will leave open.
All right, so here's the thing. Monday is gonna be your last day. And when I
Take
say,
the-
Hmm?
take the deal.
well, no, here's the thing. I don't want you to be rushed. Are you sure this is what you want to do?
We'll get out in more years if I take it to
No, no,
trial.
no, here's the thing.
Yeah,
What I will do is, they're saying they're gonna keep it open till Monday.
yeah.
We're gonna have you come back on Monday. Your defense attorney is gonna be here at 9 a.m. on Monday.
I'll visit him this weekend.
All right, and then we will bring you over, and if you want to accept the offer, then I'll hear it and I'll go from there. And what I can tell you is, when the state presents their evidence to me, even though you're entering a plea of it, I still have to review it and see if the state has proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. So I'm another person who looks at it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're gonna bring you back on Monday, and after that, there will be no further extensions.
Appreciate you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
You
You
too.
too. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 012225, State versus Michael Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced?
Stephen Spear for the state.
Martin Getta, attorney for Michael Gonzalez.
And are you Michael Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
In defense, I believe there's something you wanted to place on the record.
Yes, if I may, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez, we've gone over the list of evidence that's been turned over to us by the district attorney's office, correct?
Yes.
And you are aware that there was some data from a phone extraction, which was just obtained by the DA's office yesterday, as a matter of fact, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, I also inform you that we haven't had a chance to review that personally, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
However, we did go over the written reports.
Yes, sir.
Now, knowing that we haven't had the chance to review that phone extraction, is it your desire to still go forward today and enter a plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody pressured you, coerced you, or into that, making that decision?
No, sir.
That's all.
All right. So other than that, defense, have you received all discovery?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I believe there was one item which was an Axion report, which wasn't.
It is documented in the discovery receipt. I just did not attach it to the stipulated evidence. It's an Axion list just saying which videos and what reports are contained therein within Veripec.
All right. And Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're charged with the offense of online solicitation of a minor, sexual conduct as a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you were giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications and there's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense, how do you plead?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
No objection.
Right. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. All right, so why are you doing this?
Stupid.
Well, I mean, no, because here's the thing, you clearly know that this is someone who's underage, and of course, it's a sting operation. But you knew that person, or you thought that person was underage.
It was a dumb choice.
Well, I don't know if it's a dumb choice. I'm trying to figure out if this is something he enjoys, the underage aspect of it, or if there's something else. Because I'm trying to figure out whether I should accept this plea and whether or not he's a danger to other people. Because dumb choices, I don't think it's a choice. Is it a dumb choice? Yes, but I don't think that's the reason he made the choice. Because how old is he?
At the time, Your Honor, he was 31.
All right, you're 31 and trying to have an interaction with a 15-year-old. Why?
I have no excuse for it.
Anything to say, counsel?
Well, Your Honor, he's been in custody for an extended period of time. He doesn't have a criminal history. Pretty much from the beginning of my representation in October of last year, you know, he has mentioned that he's wanted to accept responsibility for this. There's nothing from his past which would indicate any continuing danger. In the stipulations, and again, this doesn't excuse anything, but in the stipulations, you know, he basically just says he hasn't had I believe he hasn't had a girlfriend or been around, hasn't had a relationship in 4 years. You know, he's always told me it was just a terrible decision on his part. But he's also assured me that, you know, once that happened, that was it. It was a shock to his system, clearly, and it's obvious it was shocking to him in the video from the body camera footage. You know, it's one of those things where he hadn't had the opportunity really to think at that moment about some of the ramifications of what was going on. But he has these 225 days that he's been in custody. He knows also, he's been advised about the Chapter 62 compliance. And he knows that it's because of this inexcusable decision on his part that he's got a lifetime of consequences.
All right, anything from the state?
Your Honor, I'll just confirm what defense said in terms of the very minimal criminal history from Mr. Gonzalez. There were a couple Class B marijuana charges. He had a couple misdemeanors as a juvenile, but no felony arrest for Mr. Gonzalez prior to this incident.
And one last thing is he was did express he was grateful that there wasn't an actual person involved, that it was just an adult posing, that, you know, there wasn't an actual individual that was harmed by this.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be Chapter 62 registration. There's to be no contact with minors and no residence with minors. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No,
Nothing from the state.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed the plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You do understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Whenever, sometimes the people on the other end, they are underage people, right? And I can tell you, some parents are not good parents, but then you have some parents who are trying to do the best they can, but they really can't keep up with technology and what their children are doing or should not be doing. So you need to always be thinking about that, and you should be trying to make society better, not go through loopholes. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
thank you.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 004894 State versus Jack Daniel Cross. Could I have parties announced?
Alfonso Otero on behalf of Mr. Cross. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. And is there going to be any applications?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
All right, are you, probation, this is an application. Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cross, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Good day, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, you're gonna have to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with obstruction or retaliation as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you were giving up those rights. Did you intend to enter into a plea in this case and give up those rights?
I did.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yeah, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Good day, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Cross, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
It offers exhibit 1 and attachments.
No objection, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find that there's sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, just follow the plea bargain.
All right, so Mr. Cross, I see that you were taken to the hospital. Have you received a diagnosis or no?
Yeah, for schizophrenia.
All right, so are you currently on your medications at the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and there's no issue you believe with competency or sanity at the time of the offense?
No, Judge.
All right, if you're released, do you have a place to stay?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be staying with someone?
Yeah, my mother.
Okay, and are there any minors in the home, any children?
Yes.
All right, so what do you spend your time doing?
I try to occupy my time with like playing video games.
Okay. Have you ever been employed or did you receive SSI?
So I'm currently unemployed.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
So I try to work at various different jobs doing like tedious things.
Okay. Did you finish school?
No, no.
How far did you go in school?
I made it to ninth grade.
And why did you drop out?
It's just I just was had a lot of stress going to school, so I decided to not further my education.
All right. Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. Does your client have any criminal history?
Other than the word judge.
So I did receive a failure, or it's gonna be silent or abusive phone call to emergency services in Midland County. I forgot what county. it was.
All right. So this is what I'll do. Instead of the 4 years deferred adjudication, I'm going to do 5 years deferred adjudication. But if he completes everything successfully, he can come back and ask for early termination. So 5 years deferred adjudication. Probation, how long is the MIC evaluation in custody? I mean, and I'm going to tell you, here's my fear. You obviously need to be on medications. During this episode, it's clear to the court that he wasn't on medications. So I can do one or two things. One, I can have him remain in custody and wait for the MIC evaluation. Is the time the same in and out of custody or no? Okay. How much longer out of custody? Sure. Okay. Please. Yes. June 9th. All right. So what we'll do is I'll do sentencing on June 9th, but they may be able to have it done before then, okay? Here's the reason why I'm doing this. Based upon what I'm reading in the police report, I don't want to set him up for failure. I want to make sure that he has a case manager, that he has his medications to take. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. And you're going to end up right back here. And because this is a deferred adjudication, you're looking at potentially 10 years in prison, and I don't want that to happen, okay? So I'm going to set it for June 9th, but they'll probably have it done before June 9th. And then as soon as it's done, we will take it up, definitely at the latest June 9th, but it'll be before then.
Your Honor, I had a question.
Sure.
Would you take into consideration my back time? Because I've already been in custody for almost 90 days, more than like 100.
All right, that's something that's completely separate from this plea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Usually taking in consideration time has more to do when someone decides they want to do a prison sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get it done as quickly as possible. I'm sorry we can't get it done any sooner. This is done through third parties. It's not done through me, okay? So at the latest, June 9th, at the latest. But the probation officer has your attorney's contact information. So if we have it before then, we'll bring you in before then. And defense, if for some reason you're out of county, you can always Zoom in and we'll get it done that way. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe excuse Judge.
Yes. All right, could I see the parties on Joshua Hernandez? And I'm sorry, let me just put one final thing in Odyssey.
আছি বগুড়ায়, আর বগুড়ার সব সেরা রাঁধুনিরা তাদের হাতের খাবার নিয়ে চলে এসেছেন। কেমন করছেন তারা, চলুন দেখা যাক। দর্শক, অসংখ্য প্রতিযোগীর মধ্য থেকে প্রাথমিকভাবে বাছাইকৃত প্রতিযোগীরা আজ হাজির হয়েছে বগুড়াতে। প্রত্যেকের স্বপ্ন একটাই, হতে চায় সেরা রাঁধুনি, এবং একটু পরেই তারা মুখোমুখি হবে বিচারকদের। তারা কি ভাবছেন, মনের মধ্যে কিরকম দুশ্চিন্তা হচ্ছে, কে কি রেসিপি নিয়ে এসেছেন এবং তাদের জন্য কতটা সহজ হবে ঢাকায় যাওয়ার টিকিট পাওয়া, কথা বলবো প্রতিযোগীদের সাথে, দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আপনার রেসিপি কি?
আমার রেসিপিটা হচ্ছে ক্যারামেল অরেঞ্জ ইয়োগার্ট।
ওকে, এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস কি?
এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্ট হচ্ছে দই, বগুড়ার বিখ্যাত দই। আমি সেটা দিয়ে ফিউশন করার ট্রাই করেছি।
আপনি এর আগেও অংশ নিয়েছিলেন, সম্ভবত 1427 এবং গ্র্যান্ড অডিশন থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, রাইট?
রাইট।
এবারের রেসিপি কি?
এবারের রেসিপি হচ্ছে আমার চকলেট মোকা স্ট্রবেরি চিজ কেক। অল আর মাই সিক্রেট রেসিপি, সো আই এম ভেরি এক্সাইটেড।
কুমু, কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি কেমন আছেন?
খুব ভালো। এর আগে 1427-এ লাকি 7 থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, এবার কি মনে হচ্ছে?
প্রথমবারের যে অভিজ্ঞতা, বর্তমানে আমি তারপর আরো 2 বছর সময় নিয়েছি, শিখেছি, তো নিজেকে এবারে তৈরি করে এনেছি, ইনশাল্লাহ ভালো কিছু একটা হবে।
আপনার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য কি?
আমার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য হচ্ছে গ্রাম্য নিয়ে এসেছি, মানে আমার গ্রামের যে জিনিসপত্র সে প্রেজেন্ট করবো।
একসঙ্গে কতজনের রান্না করতে পারবেন?
আমি যদি বলি, এখন আমাদের বাসায় যত গেস্ট আসে আপ টু 20।
একটু কি ভয় লাগছে?
হ্যাঁ, একটু ভয় কাজ করছে, কারণ ফার্স্ট টাইম কোনো রিয়েলিটি শোতে আসছি।
তারপর আপনার জন্য শুভকামনা রইল।
সো মাচ।
দর্শক, ভয় তো লাগবেই, এবং এই ভয়কে জয় করাই হচ্ছে যে কোনো প্রতিযোগীর কাজ। সেরা রাঁধুনি কিন্তু একটা লম্বা প্রতিযোগিতা, এবং এই রেসে টিকে থাকার জন্য আপনাকে অবশ্যই অন্যদের চাইতে বেটার রেসিপি দিতে হবে, এবং সেই রেসিপির মধ্য দিয়ে কিন্তু যারা আমাদের বিচারক রয়েছেন তাদের মন জয় করতে হবে। সো দেখা যাক কি হয়, আমাদের সঙ্গেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আমাদের মাঝে বিচারকেরা চলে এসেছেন। একটু পরেই শুরু হবে ফুড টেস্টিং এবং সেই সাথে জাজমেন্ট। আমি এবার কথা বলবো আমাদের বিচারকদের সাথে, দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। ওয়েলকাম টু বগুড়া অডিশন। কি খবর?
ভালো, তুমি কেমন আছো?
আমি খুব ভালো আছি, এবং আমি ভুল না করলে এবার দিয়ে বোধহয় 5ম বারের মতো আপনি আসলে বিচারকের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন। বগুড়ার প্রতিযোগী, সর্বোপরি এবারের প্রতিযোগীদের নিয়ে আপনার কি বলার আছে?
প্রত্যাশা তো অনেক বেশি, কারণ বগুড়া সবসময় সব সিজনেই অনেক ভালো ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা পেয়ে থাকি সেরা রাঁধুনিতে। তো এবারেও আমি আশা করছি যে অ্যাটলিস্ট টপ 5 পর্যন্ত যেন যেতে পারে, এরকম পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা এখান থেকে নিয়ে যেতে পারি, এটাই আমাদের প্রত্যাশা।
শেফ নাইম আশরাফ, দ্বিতীয়বারের মতো সেরা রাঁধুনির অডিশনের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন বিচারকের। কেমন লাগছে বা কি মনে করছেন এবারের এই আয়োজন নিয়ে?
সেরা রাঁধুনি গত সিজনে আমরা রংপুর দিয়ে শুরু করেছিলাম, সো এবার বগুড়াতে নতুন পার্টিসিপেন্টসদের খাওয়া ট্রাই করার জন্য ভেরি এক্সাইটেড। রেসিপি সিলেকশনে আমি সবগুলো রেসিপি দেখেছি, সিলেক্ট করেছি, সো ওগুলো খাওয়ার জন্য এবার এখানে আশা করি অনেক ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস বগুড়া থেকে পাবো।
অনেক অনেক ভালোবাসা। আমার মনে হয় আমি আর সময় নষ্ট না করি, আপনার ভেতরে চলে যান।
তোমাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
থ্যাংক ইউ। দর্শক, আমাদের প্রধান 2 বিচারককে তো পেয়ে গেছি, কিন্তু বগুড়াতে রয়েছেন আমাদের আরও একজন অতিথি বিচারক। তিনি ঠিক কোথায় আমি এখনো জানি না, তাকে খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না। তিনি এলেই কিন্তু শুরু হয়ে যাবে আমাদের মূল অডিশন রাউন্ড।
আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাঁধুনি। trên trời cao con rớt xuống đây hắt được làm em bé xíu của mẹ này, dịu dàng mẹ cười đón thiên thần đáng yêu.
Mình đang tô bằng cái màu đỏ nhá, một cái màu đỏ tươi rất là lộng lẫy cho chú công này, với bộ lông dài. Mình đã tô xong cái phần đuôi là màu tím và màu đỏ nha. Mình sẽ tô đôi chân với cái màu nâu. Đây là cái màu nâu nha. Tới cái phần chân là cái màu nâu nè. Bộ lông dài, bộ đuôi dài lên nó sẽ che hết cả cái phần chân của chú công này nha. Mình sẽ tô phần lông trên bằng cái màu vàng. Vàng và cam kết hợp.
ওয়াও মনে হয়, ভিজুয়ালি দেখতে অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, প্রেজেন্টেশনটা ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি। ঢাকা অডিশনের জন্য একটু টেনশন হচ্ছে নেক্সট রাউন্ডে আমি যেতে পারবো কিনা।
আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাধুনী।
সুরাইয়া পারভিন, কি বানিয়েছেন আপনি?
আমি একটি ডেজার্ট নিয়ে এসেছি আজকে, লেয়ার কার্ড ফ্যান্টাসি।
আমি জানি না টেস্ট কেমন, আমি জাস্ট আপনার বেকিংটা দেখেই ওয়াও মনে হয়। ডেজার্ট ছাড়া আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আর কি বানাতে পারেন?
থাই চাইনিজটা পারি,
থাই আর চাইনিজ কুইজিনের মধ্যে পার্থক্যটা কি বলতে পারবেন?
কিছুটা কাছাকাছি, কারণ এই দুটার মধ্যে আপনার যেই জিনিস প্রোডাক্টগুলো আমরা ইউজ করি প্রায় একই রকম।
অনেকটা ডিফারেন্স আছে। থাই খুব ঝাল হয়, চাইনিজ অত ঝাল হয় না। আর থাইতে প্রচুর কোকোনাট ইউজ করে, চাইনিজে অত কোকোনাট ইউজ হয় না। এছাড়াও এরকম অনেক উদাহরণ আছে
জি
দুটো ফুডের মধ্যে।
জি,
সেরা রাঁধুনিতে কেন এসেছেন?
আমি মনে করি ম্যাম সেরা রাঁধুনি একটা হচ্ছে বিশাল বড় একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম, যেখানে নিজেকে আমি উপস্থাপন করতে পারবো সবার সামনে, আমি আমার প্রতিভাকে দেখাতে পারবো। ফিউচারে আমার খুব ইচ্ছা নিজেকে একজন সফল উদ্যোক্তা হিসেবে তৈরি করা। আমি মনে করি সে রাঁধুনি আমাকে সে প্ল্যাটফর্মটা আমাকে তৈরি করে দিবে।
আজকে যদি আমরা আপনাকে ওয়েটিং কার্ড না দিই তাহলে আপনার কেমন লাগবে?
ভালো খারাপ দুইটাই লাগবে। কার্ড পেলে ভালো লাগবে, না পেলে ইনশাল্লাহ পরের বার আরও ভালোভাবে চেষ্টা করে আসবো।
আপনি তো আমাদের আগের চ্যালেঞ্জেসগুলো দেখেছেন, অনেক ইন্টারন্যাশনাল, অনেক ফিউশন, অনেক ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ চ্যালেঞ্জেস থাকে। সো আপনার মনে হয় আপনি রেডি?
ইয়েস, আমি রেডি।
তাহলে চলে আসেন, আপনাকে আমরা
চলে আসুন।
একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিতে চাচ্ছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি, ভালো লাগছে। জাজরা আমার ফুড খেয়ে অনেক প্রশংসা করেছে। ঢাকা অডিশনের জন্য একটু টেনশন হচ্ছে নেক্সট রাউন্ডে আমি যেতে পারবো কিনা।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
আমি শারমিন সাবা লিনা। আমি আজকে নিয়ে এসেছি পিনা কোলাডা পাইনাপেল কেক।
ভিজুয়ালি দেখতে অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, প্রেজেন্টেশনটা ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ। কি করেন? একাডেমিক পড়াশোনা শেষ করেছি আমি, আর বর্তমানে আমি কালিনারি আর্টসের উপরে ডিপ্লোমা করছি, আর হোমমেড একটা খাবারের বিজনেস আছে যেটা আমি আমাদের এলাকাতে রান করছি।
শামিন, আপনি কোকোনাট ইউজ করেছেন এখানে?
না সে
পিনা কোলাডাতে কিন্তু কোকোনাট যায়। ইটস আ মিক্সচার অফ পাইনঅ্যাপল এন্ড
কোকোনাট।
আমার কাছে মানে কেকের টেস্টটা বেশ ভালো লেগেছে।
আমার কাছেও কেকের টেস্টটা ভালো লেগেছে। ইটস নট টু সুইট, দেয়ার ইজ পাইনঅ্যাপল। when you call it
জুসি।
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম।
আপনি এটা ছাড়া আর কি রান্না করতে পারেন? ঝাল খাবার কি রান্না করতে পারেন?
বিরিয়ানি, কাবাব, হচ্ছে মুঠি কাবাব, শামি কাবাব, কাবাবগুলো আছে, জালি কাবাব। ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কোনো খাবার যেমন চাইনিজের মধ্যে ফ্রাইড রাইস, চিলি চিকেন, ওনথন, থাই স্যুপ, এগুলো সব পারি। চাইনিজের মধ্যে তো থাই আসে না। আসছে না।
আমি জানি আপনি জানেন, বাট আপনি নার্ভাস কেন এত?
প্রথমবার আমার অডিশন তো সেই জন্য।
আগে কেন আসেন?
আগে আমি মানে গত সিজন আমি ভাবছিলাম যে দিব, তারপর ভাবলাম যে না, আমি একটু কাঁচা আসছি, এখানে তো দেখি অনেক সব দক্ষ সবাই আসে, ওই জন্য আমি ভাবছিলাম একটু ভালো মতো শিখে তারপর যাই, সেই জন্য।
সো আপনার মনে হয় আপনি এবারের জন্য রেডি?
হ্যাঁ, আমার মনে হয় আমি রেডি আছি এবারের জন্য।
তাহলে আমরাও রেডি। এখন আপনাকে একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দেই।
থ্যাংক ইউ শেফ। সেরা রাঁধুনির ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়েছি, আর আশা করছি গ্র্যান্ড অডিশনের জন্য সিলেক্ট হব ইনশাল্লাহ। এটা পেয়েছি, এটাতে অনেক খুশি লাগছে। ইনশাল্লাহ গ্র্যান্ড অডিশনের জন্য সিলেক্ট হলে আরও বেশি খুশি হব।
Hello, xin chào các bạn đến với kênh YouTube của mình nha. Hôm nay chúng mình sẽ cùng nhau tô màu bức tranh Một bông hoa mặt trời. Chúng mình cùng tô màu nha. Một bông hoa mặt trời, mình sẽ tô phần đôi môi nha, với cái màu đỏ nè. Đây là đôi môi nha. Với đôi môi là cái màu đỏ. Mình đã tô xong nha. Cái màu hồng. Cái màu hồng phấn mình sẽ tô hai bên má nha. Hai bên má bằng cái màu hồng phấn này. Mình đã tô xong một bên rồi này.
আপনার যদি লাক ভালো থাকে আমাদের সাথে নেক্সট অডিশন রাউন্ডে আপনি যেতে পারবেন। হ্যাঁ,
মানে এটা আপনি কেকের উপর দিতে পারেন না, দিস ইজ প্লাস্টিক, রাইট?
ওকে ওকে।
থ্যাংক ইউ। আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন কি বানাতে পারেন?
ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আমি পারি না।
আমার মনে হয় আপনি একটু সময় নিন, ভালো করে শিখেন।
জি।
হ্যালো শেফ, হ্যালো ম্যাম, হ্যালো ম্যাম।
হ্যালো।
এটা হলো আমি করেছি কোয়েল বেগুনের কালাই টাক। আমার আঞ্চলিকতাকেই আমি ফিউশন হিসেবে এখানে তুলে ধরেছি। আর পাশে ডেজার্ট হিসাবে রেখেছি জাম্বুরা খোসার মালাই চাপিটা।
ইন্টারেস্টিং। এটা প্লেট করা কোথা থেকে শিখলেন?
এমনি কমপ্লিট করার পরে যখন ঢাকাতে চাকরি প্রিপারেশনের জন্য যাই, তখন ওখান থেকে 3 মাসের একটা কোর্স করেছিলাম। ওখানে আপনার ডেকোরেশন, প্লেটিং অনেক কিছু শিখাইছিল। ছোটোখাটো কিছু ওখান থেকেই শেখা হয়েছে। আর ইউটিউব, সুপার শেফ, মাস্টার শেফ, কানাডিয়ান, অস্ট্রেলিয়ান এইসব দেখেই শিখেছি। আর আপনার ফুড নিয়ে এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করতে ভালোবাসি। খাদ্যের অবশিষ্ট অংশ ফেলে দিয়ে আমরা অনেক সময় নষ্ট করি, যাতে ওইগুলো আমরা ফুড হিসেবে আবার প্লেটিং করতে পারি, সেই হিসাবে এটা আমার করা। জাম্বুরার
সেরা রাঁধুনিতে কি ফার্স্ট টাইম?
না, এবার দিয়ে আমার সেকেন্ড টাইম।
আচ্ছা।
এর আগের বার আমি এসেছিলাম আপনার ওই টিভি ছিল।
আপনি কিচেনে কাজ করেন না কেন?
জি, জি।
হোটেল বা রেস্টুরেন্টে কাজ করেন না?
আমি আপনার 17-18 মাস মতন কাজ করেছিলাম আপনার রূপপুর পারমাণবিকের পাশে, মানে অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট হিসেবে ঢুকেছিলাম, পরে শেফ চলে যাওয়ার কারণে পুরো আমি হ্যান্ডেল করতাম এটা।
কিচেন লাইনে কাজ করতে চান?
অফকোর্স, এই জন্যই এখনো এর পিছনেই ছুটছে।
আপনার আইডিয়াস অনেক ভালো, ফুড আইডিয়াস অনেক ভালো, ফুডের টেস্টও অনেক ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আপনার খুব ভালো চেষ্টা ছিল, আর আমরা নতুন রেসিপি দেখলাম।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
তো আমার মনে হলো আপনাকে আমরা একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দেই। আপনার যদি লাক ভালো থাকে আমাদের সাথে নেক্সট অডিশন রাউন্ডে আপনি যেতে পারবেন।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাঁধুনি।
আমি নিয়ে এসেছি প্লেন রাইস, সরষে ইলিশ, আর হচ্ছে একটা ডাউল রান্না, বাড়িতে নর্মালি যেটা রান্না হয় আর কি, আর হচ্ছে 3 পদের ভর্তা।
এতটুকু তো এনাফ না সেরা রাঁধুনি হওয়ার জন্য।
কি রেসিপি বানিয়েছেন আজকে?
এটা স্যার ফ্রাইড চিকেন আর ফ্রাইড রাইস।
বাসায় রান্না করেন?
জি জি।
কি ধরনের রান্না?
নর্মাল রান্নাগুলো আম্মু করে, আর একটু মানে অন্যরকম রান্নাগুলো আমি করেছি।
আম্মু তো সেরা রাজনীতি গিয়ে রান্না করে দিয়ে আসে।
না না, নর্মাল রান্নাও পারি, নর্মাল রান্নাও পারবো।
একটু স্কিলটা বাড়াতে হবে। হ্যাঁ,
জি, আমি নিয়ে আসছি অ্যারাবিয়ান চিকেন খাফসা।
এখানে স্টার অনিস ব্যবহার করেছো? স্টার অনিস অনেক বেশি স্ট্রং ফ্লেভার আছে।
খাপসা নিয়ে এসেছি, এটা খাপসা হয়নি।
আবার আসবে।
চিকেন ললিপপ, সাথে একটু সুইটের জন্য চকলেট কেক নিয়ে এসেছি।
ললিপপের সাথে রাইস যায় না।
চিকেন ললিপপ ইজ আ স্টার্টার।
এই জিনিসগুলো অবশ্যই মাথায় রাখতে হবে।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
শামিন কি বানিয়েছেন আজকে?
আমি এটা কাঁচা পেঁপের লাড্ডু বানিয়েছি।
শামিন, এটা আপনার নিজের রেসিপি? ইটস রিয়েলি গুড। আমি খাওয়া স্টপ করতে পারছি না। আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন কি বানাতে পারেন?
ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আমি পারি না।
আমার মনে হয় আপনি একটু সময় নেন, ভালো করে শিখেন।
জি
ফারজান আক্তার মিম,
জি।
কি বানিয়েছো?
পায়েস।
এত বড় প্লেটে কেন?
আসলে ডেকোরেশনের জন্য একটু বড়ই নিয়েছিলাম।
ডেকোরেশন তো ভালো লাগছে না।
পায়েস সাধারণত এভাবে সার্ভ হয় না।
আপনার নাম বলবেন আর কি রেসিপি বানিয়েছেন সেটা?
আমার নাম মোহাম্মদ শাফিউল আলম, ডিশের নাম লেয়ার হ্যাভেন টিট।
এটা হ্যাভেন কোন দিক থেকে হলো?
একটা স্মুথি ভাব আসে, এই জন্য
একটা বাইট দিলাম আর একদম উড়ে হ্যাভেন। আমি খেয়ে যেটা দেখলাম, কেকটা খুবই ড্রাই। সরি টু সে, আমি যেতে পারি নাই হ্যাভেন।
অডিশন রাউন্ডে বিচারকদের কাছে প্রতিযোগীদের রেসিপির পাশাপাশি ফুড প্রেজেন্টেশন, কুকিং স্কিল, নলেজ, সেলফ কনফিডেন্স সহ বিভিন্ন বিষয়ে পরীক্ষার সম্মুখীন হতে হয়। সেই পরীক্ষায় অনেকেই বিচারকদের প্রত্যাশা পূরণ করতে পারেননি, তাই সেরা রাঁধুনি হওয়ার স্বপ্ন তাদের এখানেই থেমে যায়।
অয়েল ফ্রি আলু পনির। এটা
পনিরটা কিভাবে বানিয়েছে?
পনিরটা এটা কেনা পনির।
তাহলে তো আলুও বাজার থেকে কেনা। তাহলে আপনার কি?
আমার রান্না রেসিপি আমার।
আমার নাম নাসরিন আক্তার মিম। আমি আজকে করেছি ভ্যানিলা কেক, সাথে আমি করেছি হাঁসের মাংস।
কেকের সাথে হাঁসের মাংস।
কেকটা এখানে কেন, মানে টপ থেকে এডিবল?
নো,
সো এটা এডিবল না। এন্ড দেন হোয়াই ডিড ইউ পুট?
এটাও এডিবল না, এটা হচ্ছে প্রপার। হ্যাঁ,
মানে এটা আপনি কেকের উপর দিতে পারেন না। দিস ইজ প্লাস্টিক, রাইট?
ওকে ওকে,
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Mình đã tô xong bức tranh về chú mèo nha. Các bạn hãy quan sát lại bức tranh mình đã hoàn thiện này. Để theo dõi các video tiếp theo, các bạn nhớ bấm like cho mình nhé. Xin chào các bạn. Hello, xin chào các bạn đến với kênh YouTube của mình nha. Hôm nay chúng mình cùng nhau tô màu bức tranh về một chú gà mái này, một chú gà mái hoa mơ này. Chúng mình cùng tô màu nha. Một chú gà mái với cái bộ chân rất là sần sù, như kiểu chú ấy là một chú gà mái rất già rồi ấy. Nên mình sẽ tô cái màu của nó là màu đỏ nhá. Đây này, đây là cái màu đỏ này. Mình sẽ tô cái phần màu trên đỉnh đầu trước nha. Mình đang tô cái phần màu của chú gà. Mình đã tô xong cái phần màu với cái màu đỏ này rồi nhá. Giờ mình sẽ tô sang phần mỏ này. Để cái màu nâu. Đây là cái màu nâu này. Mình sẽ dùng cái chì ngòi nhỏ này. Một cái mỏ rất là sắc nhọn.